There are tons of valuable cars rotting away in barns waiting for you to discover them. That's right, today we're talking barn finds. A huge thank to our sponsor this week, Current. If you don't know already, Current is a mobile bank account that comes with a Visa debit card and has no minimum balance and absolutely no hidden fees or overdraft fees. The app is great, it's really fast. My favorite part are these personalized pods that help me save money because I'm really bad at saving money on my own. It's true. I'm not a huge fan of banks. Sometimes it takes so long to process my paychecks, it makes me sick. But Current is better. You can get this premium black card account that processes paychecks faster once you set up a direct deposit, 2 days faster. You can get Current for free on your iPhone or Android and it takes like 2 minutes to set up. So set up your account with Current today and get paid faster. A barn find is when someone uncovers an old, dusty car in a forgotten garage or even buried underground. You might know the term from playing Forza Horizon, which honestly, barn finds were probably the best part of that game. I'm not gonna lie, I get a little too excited knowing that I could just stumble across an old car like a Mercedes SL300 in an old garage, which is exactly what happened in Jacksonville, Florida, of all places. This classic Benz was found in 2018 after sitting dormant for almost 50 years, and it's in pretty good condition considering how humid Florida is. Just breathing in Florida is a chore for me. I don't do well in the humidity.
It's very hot, by the way. I'm sweaty, just sweaty right now.
This particular gull wing they found is very special because it's the 43rd SL300 that Mercedes made in a production run of only 1,400 total cars. It has a bunch of prototype-like features, gooseneck shifter, those only made it in the first 50 cars, bolted on eyebrows on the fenders, and these horn-looking things on the bumper that didn't make it onto the later production models. The odometer read just over 35,000 miles, so someone obviously enjoyed this beautiful car for a little while before they abandoned it. The original owner was a lawyer that bought it back in 1957 and raced it. Then he sold it to his mechanic who raced it as well before selling it to a Navy pilot. This pilot wanted to repaint the car, and somewhere in the process of stripping it down, something went wrong and it was never finished. A newspaper found in the back seat is from 1965, which is likely the last year this SL300 was driven. Luckily, the car was found just last year and bought for just over $1 million. It made its way back to Stuttgart, Germany, and was cleaned up by Mechatronic just feet where it was produced 64 years ago. It's truly amazing. In a Hilton parking garage in Athens, Greece, a custom metallic brown Lamborghini Miura was found slowly decaying. It had been gifted to rally driver and Greek Elvis Stamatis Kokotas. The Lamborghini had some cool mods that were necessary for rally driving, like bolted-on fog lights and engraved alloy air vents and a passenger grab handle for those moments. Kokotas drove the hell out of this Miura, and when it fell into disrepair, I guess he forgot about it in the hotel parking lot for 40 years. You've probably all heard by now about this Portuguese barn with a bunch of classic cars in it, right? The story goes that a retired New Yorker bought property in Portugal only to discover a building with its doors welded shut. Him and his wife bring a grinder over and cut the doors open to reveal over 200 rare and unique cars caked in dust. It's pretty amazing, right? Lucky ass dude. Well, it's not all true. The barn is there in Portugal and it is filled with rare cars, but there is no retired New Yorker and his pretty wife, and they didn't just stumble across this treasure trove. The owner of the building is a Portuguese car dealer that collected some of the more interesting vehicles that came through his lot during the 70s and 80s. When it became full, he soldered the doors shut. Kind of weird. The doors were only open one time for a photographer to come in and document the entire lot. He counted 180 cars total. Cars like the Abarth Scorpion, a rare Alfa Romeos and BMWs, a Lotus Europa, and a Ford Taunus. Pretty cool. Don't get your hopes up though, because none of these cars are for sale, and the photographer was sworn to secrecy to the location of the warehouse. Take that BMW 2002 off your hands. In 2009, a Ford RS200 with 1,000 miles on it, an unregistered Mercedes 190e Cosworth Evo, and two E30 M3s with a combined 94 miles on their odometers were bought from a British man who had purchased them for his boys that never drove them. Who are these kids? I'm gonna drive the out of those things. Oh, look at me. Oh, thanks, Dad. Yeah, E30, nice. I'm playing Fortnite. While we're on the subject of BMW, this 1981 BMW M1 was found in a garage in southern Italy with only 4,500 miles on it, despite it never being registered. That's weird. It had been collecting dust for over 30 years. These cars were special. BMW only made 453 M1s between 1978 and 81. This one was lovingly restored by a company called Mint Classics and sold in 2016 for $1 million. This next barn find wasn't in a barn at all, but buried underground in a Los Angeles neighborhood. In 1974, a plumber in the Los Angeles area bought a Pininfarina designed Dino 246 GTS for his wife, lucky lady, and she drives it around for a week before it gets mysteriously stolen. The car was never found, and the plumber got full compensation for the stolen vehicle from his insurance company. Pretty cool, right? Then, 4 years later, some kids are digging in the backyard of their house. They discovered the car. The cops are called in and start digging the Dino up. The lead detective was worried that there might have been a body in the car, but was pleasantly surprised to find that A, there was no dead body, and B, whoever buried the sports car had painstakingly patted the interior with towels around the seams to sop up any moisture that got in the cabin. Pretty thoughtful, right? The outside, unfortunately, did not fare as well. The moisture had pockmarked the entire body with white spots, and rust had pretty much eaten through the metal everywhere. It was in really bad shape. The story gets weirder though, because it came out that no children had ever been digging in the yard, and that story was made up to protect an informant. What really happened was the plumber hired some goons to steal the car for the insurance claim, and they were supposed to scrap it. But the goons, they fell in love with the Italian stallion and decided to bury it instead to dig it up later. But they forgot where they buried it. Same year the car was dug up, a man named Brad Howard bought the rusted heap and began restoring it to its full beauty. He repainted it a dark green, and now the license plate reads "Dug Up." You can still see Brad driving the Dino around Southern California car meets. I personally haven't seen it yet, but now that I know this, gonna be on the lookout. One of the craziest barn find stories ever also took place in SoCal, involving one of the most coveted and most famous race cars in history. This one is insane. Shelby only built 6 Daytona Coupes in England, and only 5 of them were known to survive. The whereabouts of the 6th car remained a mystery until October of 2000, when a woman named Donna O'Hara lit herself on fire. I'll explain that part in a second. Locked away in her storage space was the missing Daytona Coupe. Not only was it one of the original 6, but it was the first. People caught wind of the lost Cobra, but she wouldn't sell. She wouldn't even let people look at it, including the man whose name was on the car, Carroll Shelby. That's crazy. The Coupe retired from racing in 1965, and Shelby sold it to a guy for $4,500. Apparently, it was so loud that the guy needed to weld 8 Smithy mufflers to it to make it quiet enough to drive on the street. That's awesome. Respect to Carroll Shelby. A year later, it was sold to none other than record producer Phil Spector. The Daytona had some pretty insane stuff painted on the side, like Winner 33 Grand Prix and Land Speed Record 227, which were ludicrously false claims. Like, why couldn't you just put the real accomplishments on the side of the car? I mean, why even put things on the side at all? The race car was a total cop magnet, obviously, and Spector later sold it to the manager of his mansion and father of Donna O'Hara. Donna agreed to store the car for her dad. After she passed away, her mother sold the car to a British Shelby enthusiast for a cool $3 million, who then flipped it for $4 million. Takes money to make money. That's business 101. That's all for now. Go say hi to your grandpa and tell him you love him. And before we end this episode, don't forget to take advantage of Current's free mobile banking app. Thank you, Current, for sponsoring this episode. And while you're at it, take a peek in his garage, because you just might come across the next $1 million barn find. My grappa had a Caprice in his garage. I don't think it'd be worth $1 million.
What you got there, Nolan?
Got my rug here. Now own 2 rugs. I'm a man with 2 rugs and silverware.